The Desolate Highway. A journey into fear. The headlights cut through the darkness like a knife as I drove down the desolate highway. It was well past midnight, and the only company I had was the rhythmic hum of the engine and the occasional rustle of wind through the trees lining the road. My eyelids were heavy with exhaustion, but the thought of finally being home kept me pushing forward. I glanced at the clock on the dashboard. It read 2:17 a.m. I had been working late at the office, trying to meet a deadline that seemed to loom closer with each passing hour. Now, all I wanted was to crawl into bed and forget about the stress of the day. As I rounded a bend in the road, something caught my eye. A figure standing on the side of the highway, just barely visible in the dim glow of the streetlights. My foot instinctively eased off the gas pedal as I squinted to get a better look. It was a woman, her long dark hair billowing in the wind, her silhouette swaying gently as if in a trance. My heart skipped a beat as I considered stopping to offer her help. But something about the way she stood there, unmoving and ethereal, sent a shiver down my spine. I shook my head, chiding myself for being so paranoid, and pressed on, determined to put as much distance between myself and the strange woman as possible. But as I drove on, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that settled over me like a thick fog. The road seemed to stretch on forever, winding through the darkened countryside with no end in sight. The trees loomed tall and imposing on either side, their branches reaching out like skeletal fingers to claw at the sky. Suddenly, a loud thud echoed through the silence, causing me to slam on the brakes. My heart leaped into my throat as I scanned the road ahead, searching for the source of the noise. And then I saw it, a deer lying motionless in the middle of the highway, its eyes glassy and lifeless in the glow of the headlights. I cursed under my breath, my hands trembling as I tried to steady myself. I knew I should call someone, report the accident, but the thought of waiting alone on this deserted road filled me with dread. I glanced at my phone, debating whether to risk losing signal to make the call. But before I could make up my mind, a voice cut through the darkness. A soft, melodic voice that sent chills down my spine. "Leave," it whispered, barely audible above the roar of the engine. "Leave this place before it's too late." "Leave," it whispered, barely audible above the roar of the engine. "Leave this place before it's too late." I froze, the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. Who was speaking to me? Where were they hiding? I scanned the darkness outside, but there was no one there, only the empty expanse of the highway stretching out into the night. With trembling hands, I shifted the car into reverse and began to back away from the scene of the accident. But as I did, I caught a glimpse of movement in the rearview mirror, a figure emerging from the shadows, its eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. I gasped, my heart pounding in my chest, as I realized the figure was the same woman I had seen earlier, her dark hair swirling around her like a cloak, but there was something different about her now, something sinister and unearthly that sent a shiver of fear racing down my spine. Without thinking, I slammed my foot on the gas pedal and tore down the highway, the woman's haunting laughter echoing in my ears. I drove faster and faster, desperate to escape the nightmare that had engulfed me. But no matter how far I drove, the darkness seemed to follow, swallowing me whole until there was nothing left but the endless void. And as the first light of dawn broke on the horizon, I knew that I would never find my way home again.